AWCH 12 Eyewitness News. Breaking news.
Officer down. Now, running into St. Francis, officer's been ran over.
A suspect in a stolen car runs over a Wichita police officer. Tonight, he is in the hospital in critical condition. Good evening, I'm Michael Schwenke, live from the scene where it all happened. You can see behind me, investigators are still processing this scene down here in South Wichita. We're at the intersection of Topeka and Kincaid. We just got an update that happened here in the last hour, so here's what we know on this breaking story. Wichita police officers were watching a home with a stolen vehicle and a suspect with felony warrants. The suspect left in a stolen car and then ran over the officer. A second officer, we're told, did fire a weapon at the suspect, but did not hit the suspect or the vehicle. Officers chased the car, which ended near Pawnee in St. Francis, where the man fled into a business and was taken into custody by an officer and a canine with help from the people inside that business.
Our thoughts and prayers are with the officer's family and friends, as well as everyone affected by this incident. I would like to thank the citizens at the business who assisted in the arrest of the suspect.
Here's what we can tell you about the officer right now. He is a 25-year veteran of the force and is out of surgery tonight. We do not know his name, but we do know he still remains in critical condition. Police also have not released the name of the suspect or any details on his criminal background. The Sedgwick County Sheriff's Office, KHP, KBI, and ATF are all helping with this investigation, and we have Team 12 coverage for you from the multiple scenes that this crime spans. Akeem Ashford talked to people who watched that officer get hit. Trevor Macy joins us from where the chase ended. Katie Johnston is at the hospital where the injured officer, as I just said, is now out of surgery. Let's start with Akeem. And Akeem, what did eyewitnesses tell you?
Mike, Wichita Police and Sedgwick County deputies continue to process the scene here at Kincaid and Topeka. This is where we now know a Wichita police officer was ran over by a suspect's car. I want to show you some video from an eyewitness who saw that officer laying motionless on the ground. We slowed that video down for you. You can see that scene right there on your screen. Now, when we arrived here, we saw multiple law enforcement agencies walking around. They were placing markers on the ground from that accident. I spoke to a man who was inside of his home at the time of this incident. He says he heard the sound of tires screeching followed by a gunshot, and when he looked out his front door, he saw the officer laying in the middle of the street.
I just heard the gunshots and then the tires screeching, and then when I came outside, I'd seen the officer down and seen that they was trying to help him and stuff. You know, it was just crazy. You know, unfortunate, you know, he had to get hurt.
Another live look here at Kincaid and Topeka. This is where officers continue to recreate the scene to figure out exactly what happened. We will continue to stay here and bring you the very latest from this scene.
Got to that scene on East Pawnee where that suspect was taken into custody and did witness the suspect being loaded onto an ambulance. Trevor, what are witnesses telling you there?
Well, witnesses here tell me they couldn't believe the number of police officers that they were seeing out here today. Right now, there's just a couple still remaining. They've cleared the scene within the past hour or so. There's just a couple still here securing a couple areas of this business where that suspect ran into. You can see it, the blue building behind me. But take a look at the video from earlier. When I first arrived, you can see officers all over the area from multiple agencies. Some eyewitnesses tell me they estimated at least 50 police vehicles here at the scene. Everybody was here from Wichita Police Department, Fire Department, EMS, Sedgwick County Police Department, and the Highway Patrol, all here as that suspect was taken into custody behind the building. Now, I spoke to one woman who was eating lunch across the street as all of this was happening, and she told me she couldn't believe what she was seeing.
We came out and saw them rushing the building, blue building over there, and they heard one officer say, "Drop the gun." And then all of a sudden, another car pulled around the back. All these people came rushing out of the building.
Now, eastbound traffic was closed for a time here on Pawnee, but since then, you know, they've cleared the scene. All of the traffic is back open, so you shouldn't have any issues traveling here, but there still are a few officers on scene securing key points in their investigation.
All right, thank you, Trevor. What we know about the officer and his condition right now is that he is out of surgery. Katie Johnston's been at the hospital all afternoon. Katie, what did you see there?
Thanks, Mike. I'm outside Via Christi Hospital. Like you said, the officer was taken here just before 1:30 this afternoon. And just within the past 30 minutes, I've seen several police officers leaving the area, but a few still remain on scene. As I was getting here this afternoon, I did see an ambulance arrive with a police escort. There were more than 10 police vehicles following the ambulance at that time, some with lights and sirens. The officers arriving at Via Christi seemed obviously very upset by the situation, several of them talking in close groups and comforting one another. A short time after that, we also saw a man coming out of a separate ambulance who was being escorted by 6 additional officers. A spokesperson from the hospital has informed us that any updates on the officer's future condition will come directly from the Wichita Police and not from Via Christi. We do know that the officer was taken in critical condition, and like you said, he was out of surgery just before 4 p.m. this afternoon. I'll keep you updated with any additional information as it comes in outside the hospital. Mike.
All right, thank you, Katie. As we said, there are just multiple scenes in this case. We want to break down exactly where and when everything happened to the best of our knowledge. Roger Cornish continues our Team 12 coverage with a look at the timeline of events.
We want to give you a better idea of where all this happened and the timeline. It was in southwest Wichita, the 2100 block of South Topeka. That's where the initial call came in around 1 p.m. That's when the officer was hit. It's near Kincaid and Topeka. Now, here's what officers were saying as it happened.
He just hit Brian, officer. Kincaid, Topeka, officer down. He ran over an officer. We're pursuing this vehicle.
From there, a chase began, and just a few minutes after the initial call, the chase ended in the 600 block of Pawnee. That's where the suspect ran into a business.
He ran into this business, 625 Pawnee. We got it contained.
About a half mile separates the Topeka and Pawnee scenes.
All right, thanks for that update, Roger. As we mentioned, not only were there people at the business that got involved in this in helping take that suspect into custody, there were also other people affected by all of this, and Rachel Skida caught up with one of them. Rachel, what did he have to say?
Oh, Kenneth Robbins tells me all he could think about was his unborn child as he saw a black SUV speeding towards his vehicle with his pregnant wife inside. Now, this happened about a half mile up Pawnee from where we are right now. Robbins says he and his wife were pulling out of a gas station when they saw that black SUV speeding through traffic with about 10 to 15 police cars chasing after it. He says at some point that SUV came up right behind their vehicle going very fast. That's when he told his wife to hit the gas and go. He says the SUV missed their vehicle by just a few inches. Here's what he had to say about the terrifying moment.
My first thought was, oh my God, we're going to end up losing the baby. You know, something could happen there. And scary thought when you think you're going to lose, you know, you could get hurt or lose your unborn child. You know, people don't think about other people like that, you know, what they could cost someone else.
Robbins says he didn't know exactly what had happened with the chase until he saw it posted on our KWCH Facebook page. He tells me him and his wife are still shaken up, but they are just thankful their unborn child is safe.
All right, thank you, Rachel. Let's give you one more look at exactly what we do know right now. A Wichita police officer is in the hospital after being run over by a car this afternoon.
Clear. Wichita
police say the officer has critical injuries but is now out of surgery. One suspect is in custody right now. Police say the driver intentionally hit this officer with the car. We know a second officer fired one gunshot, but it is unclear what that bullet hit. Wichita police asking that prayers and thoughts go out to that officer and his family. Let's get back to the studio now where Melissa and Roger have more of the news of the day.